Hello everyone, myself Miss Niti Sharian, Assistant Professor at Suresh Ganvi High University. Today I am going to discuss about information gathering, requirements and the feasibility analysis. So what are the learning objectives of this topic? So this topic will help the students to understand what is the information gathering. Okay, what is the information gathering, feasibility analysis, data flow diagram, and input and output design. So in this topic, we are going to learn these all topics. Means information gathering, feasibility analysis, data flow diagram, input and output design. So what are the learning outcomes? After this lesson, students will be able to describe about the information gathering, feasibility analysis, diagram of data flow, input and output design. They can easily describe these all topics. So let's see what is the information system. Before going to the topic information gathering system, we have to know about what is information system. So the information system is the integration of procedure, resources and people. Okay, the information system is the integration of the procedure, resources and the people. And this integration gathers the information. Okay, the integration of these all, they gather the information, transforms and distributes that information to the organization. So information system is the integration of procedure, resources and people, and these gathers the information, transforms and distribute that information to the organization. So information gathering strategy. Next is information gathering strategies. Okay, there are lots of strategies are there to gather the information. So the strategy, this strategy consists of identifying the information sources. First, we have to identify. Okay, first strategy is to identify the information source. Okay, then evolving a method of obtaining information from that identified source. Okay, first in this strategy we have to identify the information sources. Okay, then we have to develop. Okay, then we have to gradually develop a method. Okay, we have to develop a method for obtaining the information from this source. Okay, for obtaining the information from this source and using an information flow model of the organization. So first we have to identify the source. Okay, information source. Then we have to develop a method to obtain the information from that identified source. So this strategy consists of identifying information sources, evolving a method of obtaining information from the identified sources and using an information flow model of the organization. So this is the way to collect the information from the source. So what are the information sources? Let's see what are the information sources. The main source of the information, the main sources of the information are the users of that system. Okay, users of the system is the main source of the information, and the forms and documents available in the organization. Okay, the forms and documents that are available in the organization is also the source of the information. The procedure manual. Okay, procedure manuals, rule books, reports. Okay, procedure manuals, rule books and reports, again the sources. Okay, information sources. Okay, so the main sources of the informations are users of the system, the available forms and the document, procedure manual, rule books and report that are used by that organization. Okay, that are used by the organization is the main source, and if there is any existing computer program. Okay, so these all are the information sources. So we have to know what is the information gathering strategy. Okay, we have no. So first strategy is we have to identify the information sources. Okay, then we have to develop a method. We have to develop a method for obtaining that information source. Okay, sorry, for obtaining that information from the sources. Okay, so we have to know what are the information sources. So main sources of the informations are the users of that system. Okay, main sources are the users of the system, and the available forms and documents, procedure manuals, any rule book and reports that are used by that organization, and if there are any computer program existing. So these all are the information sources. So this is the way we have to collect or gather the information system. So the next topic is requirements and the feasibility analysis. So feasibility analysis is used to assess the strengths and the weakness of a proposed project. Okay, so the feasibility analysis is used to assess, okay, used to assess the strengths and the weaknesses. Okay, we have to use this feasibility analysis to assess the strengths and the weakness of a proposed project. Okay, there is some strengths and there are some weakness in the proposed project. So the feasibility analysis used to assess that the strengths and the weaknesses of the project, and give the directions of the activities, okay, that shall improve a project and achieve a desired results. So we have to use this feasibility analysis to assess the strengths and the weakness of that proposed project, and give the direction of the activity that shall improve the project and achieve a good result. So next is requirements determinations of activities. Requirement determinations of activities. The requirements anticipation. The system analyst hypothesize the particular requirements are relevant based on his or her previous experience with other similar system and knowledge about the problem domain. So required anticipation is the system analyst. The system analyst hypothesize, he hypothesize the particular requirement are relevant. Okay, the particular requirements are relevant based on his or her previous experience with other similar system and the knowledge about the problem domain. So this is requirement anticipation. Next is requirements elicitations. Okay, the system analyst uses this activity to gather the essential requirements from the user, employing a variety of techniques. Okay, such as interviews, questionnaires, group brainstorming meetings, and voice and email. So in this system, the analyst uses the activity to gather some essential requirements from the users. Okay, from the users, employing a variety of techniques. That technique may be interview, questionnaires, group brainstorming meeting, and voice and the email. By this all type of technique, by using this type of technique, the analyst can gather the essential requirements or information. Okay, so this elicitation is requirement elicitation is the system. In this, the system analyst collect the information from the user by using some techniques such as interviews, questionnaires, group brainstorming meetings, voice and emails. Next is requirement assurance. Okay, next is requirement assurance. The system analyst. Okay, the system analyst uses the activity of requirement assurance. Okay, uses the activity of requirement assurance to validate and verify the requirements. Okay, in this requirement assurance, the analyst uses the activity to validate and verify the requirement. Okay, validate and verify. The validation and the verification of the requirement is done by the analyst with the user. Okay, with the user as being the real and essential requirements. So the analyst uses the activity of the requirement assurance to validate and the verification of the requirement with the users as being the real and essential requirement. A user walkthrough in which the system analyst and the user together review the documented requirements in detail is one assurance technique. Okay, the users and the system analyst work together, and user and system analyst review the document requirements in detail. Okay, they review the document requirements in detail is the one assurance technique. So they both works together to review the documented requirement. Okay, so this is the requirement assurance. Next is requirement specification. Okay, this is the activity that the system analyst uses to explicitly catalog and document. Okay, the requirements either during or after the elicitation and assurance activity. So the requirement specification, this is the activity. Requirement specification is the activity that the system analyst uses to explicitly catalog and document the requirements either during or after the elicitation and the assurance activities. So there are some methods to gather the information system requirements. Okay, this is the information system gathering. Okay, these are the methods we follow while collecting the informations. So first one is interviews. Interviews involve at least one analyst and at least one user. Okay, interview contain one analyst and one user conversing about the information systems requirements. Okay, in this the interview involved one system analyst and at least one user to talk about the information system requirements. Interviewing for requirement is similar to your interview for a job position or a television talk show host interviewing a guest. So this interview for the gathering the information is similar to the same for the job interview and same as the television talk show. So these are the interview system to collect the information. Okay, so the first method is interview to collect the information. Okay, in this interview there must be a one analyst, system analyst, and at least one user to collect all the information about that system requirements. Okay, and this interview is similar to the job interview and any television talk show. Next is observation. Okay, we can collect the information by observing too. Observation is the act of the systems. Okay, observation is the act of the systems analyst. Okay, sorry, observation is the act of the system analyst. Okay, act of the system analyst going to a specific location. Okay, the system analyst goes to a specific location to observe the activity of the people and the machine involved in the problem domain of the interest. Okay, in this observation, the system analyst goes to the specific location to observe the activities of the people and a machinery involved in the problem domain of the interest. Next method is questionnaire. Questionnaires are the feedback forms. Okay, questionnaires are the feedback form designed to gather information from a large group of the people. Okay, these questionnaires are designed to collect the information from a large group of the people. Okay, so this is the feedback form. Questionnaire is the feedback form that is designed to gather information from a large group of the people. Creating a prototype of the information system can be done on an individual level or in a group setting. Okay, the prototype, creating a prototype of the information system. Creating a prototype of the information system can be done on an individual level or in a group setting. The idea is to explore system alternatives by developing small working models of the proposed system so that the user reactions can be gathered. The questionnaires are the feedback form that is designed to collect the information from a large group of the people. And creating a prototype of the information system. Creating a prototype of the information system can be done on an individual level or in a group settings. The idea is to explore system alternatives by developing small working models. Okay, the idea is to explore system alternatives by developing small working models of the proposed system, though, so that the user reaction can be gathered. Next is system requirement specification. System requirements specification, that is SRS. The SRS, system requirement specification, is obtained after excessive discussion with the user. Okay, what they want. Okay, so the specification, these are the specification. Okay, the users want what the user wants in that system. Okay, so these are the specified specification requirements. Okay, so SRS, the system requirements specification, is obtained after excessive discussion with the user. Okay, system requirements specification specify. Okay, in this SRS, that specifies what information requirement will be provided. Okay, in this SRS, the system requirement specification that specify what information requirements will be provided. It does not specify how the system will be designed. Okay, in this SRS, that doesn't specify how the system will be designed. Okay, this only contain the what information requirements will be provided. So SRS is the SRS obtained after excessive discussion with the user. System requirements specification specifies what information requirement will be provided. It does not specify how the system will be designed. Okay, it doesn't specify, okay, how the system will be designed. It only specify what information requirement will be provided. Next is developing a document flow diagram. Okay, DFD. Okay, how we can develop a document flow diagram. This is next topic. Okay, so we can learn in this topic how we develop a document flow diagram. So example word statement. Okay, one company. Okay, one company receives, or our company receives, many items from several vendors. Okay, a company receives many items from several vendors, each accompanied by a delivery note. Okay, each item accompanied by a delivery note. Okay, item comes with a delivery note. Okay, so one company receives items from several vendors and each item comes with a delivery note. Okay, a receiving office receives the item. Okay, first the vendors send the item to the company with a delivery note. Okay, when in that company's receiving officer, okay, receiving officer receives that item, okay, and check the delivery note. Okay, in that the receiving officer receives that item and check the delivery note with corresponding order. Okay, if the order and delivery note is matching or not, the receiving office verify that. So one company receives many items from several vendors, okay, with a delivery note, and the receiving officers verify, first receives that item and verify the delivery note with the corresponding order. Any discrepancy is reported to purchase office. Okay, if there any discrepancy, okay, if there any anything that doesn't match with the delivery note and the order, that is to be reported to the purchase office. Okay, then who is reporting that? Receiving officer is reporting to the purchase office. Okay, then the item received along with item received notes. Okay, then in the purchase office, sorry, in the inspection office, okay, in the inspection office, that item received with the received note. Okay, in the inspection office, first the vendor sent that item in the company with a delivery note. Okay, and the receiving office, okay, the receiving office of that company received that item with a delivery note. After that, he matches with the delivery, he matches the delivery notes with the orders. Okay, corresponding order. If there is any discrepancy, then that is reported to the purchase office. If there is no discrepancy, then that is sent to the inspection office with a received note. Okay, so this is the DFD, document flow diagram. So in this, entities identified. Okay, in this DFD, entities identified are vendors, receiving office, inspection office. Okay, these are the entities identified in this statement. Then documents identified in these statements are delivery note, discrepancy note, item received notes. Okay, using these, a document flow diagram is drawn. Okay, by using this, we can draw a document flow diagram. So this is the method to develop a document flow diagram. Okay, so I will explain it once again. So one company or our company receives many items from several vendors with a delivery note. Okay, we receives many items from different of the vendors, okay, with the delivery notes. After that, receiving office receives that item and check the delivery note with the corresponding order. Okay, he matches the delivery note and the corresponding order. If there is any discrepancy, then that is reported to the purchase office. If there is no discrepancy, the order received, the order and delivery note matches, then that is received by the inspection office with the received note. In this statement, we have identified some entities and documents. So entities are vendors, receiving office, inspection office, and document identified that are delivery notes, discrepancy note, item received notes. By using these entities, identified entities and the documents, we can draw a document flow diagram. So this is the method to develop a document flow diagram. So in this again, there is the same thing I have explained in previous slide. So let's see once again. The diagram is interpreted as follows. Vendors deliver item to the receiving office accompanied by a delivery note. We have already seen that the receiving office sends item to the inspection office. Okay, receiving office sends item to the inspection office if there is no discrepancy. If there is any discrepancy, the receiving office sends that discrepancy notes to the purchase office. Okay, so this is the method. Okay, this is the method of any company that follows. Okay, so entities, vendor, receiving office, inspection office, purchase. Then documents, delivery note, items received, and discrepancy note. So this is the DFT. Okay, DFT has entities and data flow. Okay, data flow diagram has entities and the data flows. DFT specifies processing performed by some of the entities. Okay, data flow diagram specify processing performed by some of the entities in that company. Okay, it specifies in that company and out of the company. It specifies which entities generate the documents. Okay, in DFD, the DFD specifies which entities generate the documents and also indicate their flow. Okay, so data stores which are referred while processing data. Okay, data stores that are referred, which are referred while processing of the data, and in which processing data may be written or stored are also represented in the diagram. Entities are originator of the data and the consumer of the data. Okay, entities are originators of the data and the consumers of the data. Vendors, inspection office, purchase office are entities in the diagram. Okay, vendors, inspection office, purchase office are the entities of the diagram. Data flow are the delivery note, item received notes, and discrepancy notes. A circle is used to depict a process. A pair of the parallel lines depict a store. So this is the DFT, data flow diagram. So this is all about the data flow diagram. Next is input and output design. Okay, input and output design. So input design. In an information system, input is the raw data. Okay, raw data is the input that is processed to produce the output. Okay, in an information system, input is the raw data. Raw data is the input, and that is processed to produce the output data. During the input design, the developer must consider the input devices such as PC, MICR, OMR. Okay. During the input design, the developer must consider the input devices PC, MICR, OMR. Therefore, the quality of the system input determines the quality of the system output. Okay, the quality of the system input determines the quality of the system input. That is only the determination of the quality of the system output. Well-designed input forms and the screens have following properties. Okay, well-designed inputs and output, the input form and the screen. Well-designed input forms and the screens have following properties. So first property is it should serve specific purpose effectively, such as storing, recording, and the retrieving the information. Okay, well-designed input form follows some property. The first property should serve specific purpose effectively. Okay, specific purpose effectively it should serve. So what are the specific purpose? Storage, recording, and retrieving that information. Storage of the information, recording of the information, and retrieving of the information. So it should serve good or well-designed input forms, and screen should serve specific purpose effectively, such as storing, recording, and retrieving the information. It ensures proper completion with accuracy. Okay, it should also follow proper completion with proper accuracy. It should be accurate, and it should be easy to fill and straightforward. Okay, the well-designed input system should be easy to fill and straightforward. Okay, and it should focus on users' attention, consistency, and simplicity. Okay, so these are the characteristics the good input system should follow. So first one is it should serve specific purpose, such as storage, recording, and retrieving system. Next is it should ensure proper completion with accuracy. It should be easy to fill and straightforward. It should focus on the user's attention, consistency, and simplicity. All these objectives are obtained using the knowledge of the basic design principles regarding what are the input needed for the system, how end users respond to different element of the forms and screen. Okay, these all objectives. Okay, these all objectives are obtained using the knowledge of the basic design principles. Okay, by using the knowledge of the basic design principles regarding what are the inputs needed for that system. Okay, what are the input needed for that system, and how end users respond to the different element of the form. So these all are some basic designs we have to follow while creating input data. Okay, so objectives of the input design. Okay, objectives for the input design. The objective of input designs are to design data entry and input procedure. Okay, first objective is to design data entry and input procedure. Then to reduce input volume. Okay, the objective of this input design is to reduce input volume. Next, to design source documents for data capture or devise other data capture method. Okay. The next objective is to design source documents for data capture or devise other data capture method. Next objective of this input design is to design input data record. Okay. To design input data records, data entry screens, user interface screens. Okay. Next objective of input design, to use validation checks and develop effective input control. Okay, so these are the objectives of the input design. So first objective is to design data entry and input procedure. Second is to reduce the input volume. Third is to design source document for data capture or the device or the data capture method. Next is to design input data records, data entry screen, user interface screen, etc. Next is to use validation checks and develop effective input control. Next is output design. Okay, output design. What are the output design? The design of the output is the most important task of any system. Okay, the design of the output is the most important task of any system. During output design, developers identify the type of the outputs needed. Okay, during the output design, developers identify the type of the input needed and consider the necessary output controls and prototype report layouts. Okay, in this the design of the output is the most important task of any system. Okay, most important task of any system is the design of the output. During the output design, the developer identify the type of the outputs needed and he consider the necessary output controls and the prototype report layouts. So there are again some objectives of output design. So the objectives of the output designs are to develop output design that serves the intended purpose and eliminate the production of unwanted output. Okay, the first objective of the output system is to develop output designs that serves the intended purpose. Okay, to develop the output design that serves the intended purpose and eliminate the production of unwanted output. So this is the first objective of the output system. Then next objective is to develop the output design that meets the end user's requirements. Okay, the developers should develop an output design that should meet with the end user's requirements. Next objective is to deliver the appropriate quantity of the output. Okay, the developer should keep in mind while designing an output system. Okay, it should deliver, the output system should deliver the appropriate quantity of the output. Then next objective is to form the output in appropriate format. Okay, formation of the output in an appropriate format and direct it to the right person. Okay, next objective. Okay, fourth objective is to form the output design in an appropriate format and direct it to the right person. Next is to make the output available. Okay, to make the output available on time for making good decision. Okay, the designer make sure that the output is available on time for making a good decision. So these are the some objectives of the output design. So this is the input design and output design. Next, let us go through various types of the outputs. Okay, there are external outputs and internal outputs. Okay, external outputs and internal outputs are there. So what are the external outputs? Manufacturer create, this is an example. Okay, this is an example of the external outputs. Manufacturer create and design external outputs for the printer. Okay, the manufacturer creates and designs external outputs for the printers. Okay, external outputs enable the system to leave the trigger action on the part of their recipients and the confirm action to their recipients. So this is the one example of the external output. The manufacturer create and designs external outputs for the printers. External outputs enable the system to leave the trigger action on the part of their recipients or confirm action to their recipients. Some of the external outputs are designed as turnaround output. Okay, some of the external outputs are designed as turnaround outputs, which are implemented as a form and re-enter the system as an input. Okay, some of the external outputs are designed as turnaround outputs, which are implemented as a form and re-enter the system as an input. Then next output is internal output. Internal outputs are present inside the system. Okay, these type of the outputs are present inside the system and used by end users and the managers. Okay, the internal outputs are present inside the system and that are used by the end users and the managers. They support the management in decision making and reporting. Okay, these internal outputs are present inside the system and that are used by the users and the managers, and they support the management in decision making and the reporting. So these are the external outputs and the internal outputs. There are three types of the reports produced by the management's information. Okay, there are three types of the reports that are produced by the management information. So first, detailed reports. Second is summary report. Third is exceptions report. Okay, three types of the reports: detailed report, summary report, and exceptions report. Detailed report contain present information. Okay, detailed report contains present information which has almost no filtering or restriction generated to assist management planning and the control. Okay, so detailed report that contain present information. Okay, present informations are always in the detailed report, which has almost no filtering, no restriction generated. Okay, there is no filtering and all, and there is no restriction that generated to assist management planning and the control. Next is summary report. Summary report, they contain trends and the potentials problem. Okay, summary report contain trends and the potential problem which are categorized and summarized, that are generated for the managers who do not want details. Okay, so summary reports are the trends and the potential problems. Okay, trends and the potential problem that are categorized and summarized and that are generated to the manager, those don't want to see the detailed report. Okay, so this is the summary report. In the detailed report, that contain all the present information in that. Okay, but the summary report contain only the trends and the potential problem. Okay, that is summarized by the users and generated for the manager who don't want the detailed report. Okay, then next is exceptions report. Exceptions report. So exception reports contain exceptions, filtered data. Okay, this exceptions report contain exceptions, filter data to some condition or standard before presenting it to the manager as information. Okay, if a manager informed he want to see the exceptions report. Okay, then in that report only exception and the filtered data is there. Okay, So this is the detailed report, summary report, and exceptions report. So these all are about the information gathering system, feasibility analysis, input and output design, and data flow diagram. Let's see some questions. So feasibility analysis is used to assess the strength and weakness of the company. Okay. The feasibility analysis is used to assess the strength and the weakness. The next question is, interviews involve at least one system analyst and at least one user. Okay, with only one user, we can't perform the interview. With only one analyst, we can't perform the interview. We want one analyst and one user, okay, to perform the interview. So interview involve at least one system analyst and one user. Next is the full form of the SRS. Okay, SRS, the full form of the SRS. The full form of the SRS is System Requirement Specification. The full form of the SRS is System Requirements Specification. Next question is, in an information system, input is the raw data. Okay, input is the raw data. So answer is raw data C. Next is, questionnaires are feedback form designed to clarity, strength, feasibility analysis, to gather information. So the answer is D, to gather information. Questionnaires are feedback form. Sorry, this is the mistake. So these all are about the questions. So this is reference. So we have completed, we have learned all about the information gathering system, feasibility analysis, diagram of data flow analysis, input and output design. Okay, so these are all the things we have learned. So just I'm summarizing all the topics. So information system is integration of procedure, resources, and the people, and that these all are together gather the information, transform and distributes the information to the organization. Next, what are the strategies we have to follow while collecting the information? So we have to identify the information sources. Then we have to develop a method for obtaining the information from that sources. Okay. Then what are the information sources? So information sources are users of that organization, forms and documents available in that organization, procedure manuals, the rule books and the reports that are used by that organization, and if there any computer program, okay, if any. So these are the information sources. Next is requirement and the feasibility analysis. We are doing the feasibility analysis to assess the strengths and the weaknesses of the proposed project. Okay, to assess the strength and the weakness of the project. So these are the requirement determination sub-activities such as requirement anticipation, requirements elicitation, requirement assurance. These are done by the analyst. Okay. Next is the method we are using to collect the information system requirements. So first method is interview. We are collecting the data, or we are collecting the information by conducting the interview through the observation, through the questionnaires, and creating a prototype of the information system. So these are the method to collect the information gathering. Then system requirements specification, that is SRS. Next is developing a document flow diagram. We have already learned how we can develop a document flow diagram. So a company that receives many items from the vendor. So in this statement, entity, the identified entities are vendor, receiving office, inspection office, and the identified documents are delivery note, discrepancy note, and item received notes. By using these all data, we can develop a document flow diagram. Then we have seen what are the input design and what are the output design. The input designs are the raw data that is processed to produce the output data. So this is the input data. Okay, we are using for process. We are using this is the raw data that are processed to produce the output data. So these all are the input design. Then next is output design. Next is output design. Output design is the most important task of any system. Okay, most important task of any system. During output design, the developers identify the type of the output needed and they consider the necessary output controls and the prototype report layout. So these are all about the input and output design. So I think I hope you all understood very well what are the information gathering system, what is the feasibility analysis, what is the input and output designs, how many type of the reports are there, okay, detailed reports, summary reports and exception reports and all things. So thank you so much.